We will call the Burlington City Council December 2nd, 2014 meeting to order. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you here tonight. This time, I'd like to ask that you silence all electronic devices. This time, we'll call on Councilmember Bob Ward for tonight's invocation.
Please join me in a moment of silent prayer, please. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a proclamation. This time we'd recognize April Durr. She'd come forward. Proclamation proclaiming December 2nd, 2014 as Giving Tuesday in the city of Burlington. Whereas Giving Tuesday was established as a national day of giving on the Tuesday following Thanksgiving, and whereas Giving Tuesday is a celebration of generosity and volunteerism, where people give whatever they are able to give, and whereas Giving Tuesday is a day where citizens work together to share commitments, rally for favorite causes, build a stronger community, and think about other people, and whereas it is fitting and proper on Giving Tuesday and on every day to recognize the tremendous impact of compassion, volunteerism, and community service in the city of Burlington. Whereas Giving Tuesday is an opportunity to encourage citizens to serve others throughout this holiday season and during other times of the year. Now, therefore, I, Ronnie K. Wall, Mayor of the City of Burlington, do hereby proclaim December 2nd, 2014 as Giving Tuesday. Also, we'd also like to recognize Julie McAteer as well and her son Ace tonight. So, Steer.
Thank you. We appreciate it, and all the council members. And we just wanted to share a quick little quote with you all from Giving Tuesday.
Sure.
That came from the President's office. Jonathan Greenblatt said today that some might choose to volunteer their talents, others might make charitable contributions, and others will simply connect with friends and loved ones. Through these millions of online clicks and offline acts, we expect Giving Tuesday to take many forms, but we will be all energized by this common impulse to make life better, especially for those in need. And Giving Tuesday, Alamance.org is the agency website you can go to and see the 40 different organizations that have come together here in Alamance County to make this day possible. So we've had a great day of success so far with donations coming in all day to the different organizations. So we really just thank you all for the support. And Ace is one of our special youth volunteers who's been helping us with projects at United Way and in the community. So we just thank you all for your support.
And Ace had a comment. Do you have a comment?
There you go.
I was saying that I helped on I was asking what community event I helped on.
Yeah. Good. Just glad to have all three of you here representing United Way. Thanks for all you do for our community.
Yeah, we
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. I had the opportunity to visit Ace's classroom last week over at Smith as a third grader, and he had plenty of good questions as well, so that was a neat experience. Next is the Jones, Hope, and Wooten Days, December 18th through the 21st, 2014. This time we'd recognize David Wright with the Paramount Theater Director. If he'd come forward, please. Proclamation proclaiming December 18th through the 21st, 2014 as Jones, Hope, and Wooten Days, City of Burlington, whereas the Paramount Theater was renovated and restored to offer enhanced cultural and entertainment opportunities for the citizens of Burlington, and whereas the Paramount Acting Company has produced over 30 plays for the entertainment of the residents in Burlington and the surrounding areas since 1998, and whereas 4 of the Paramount Acting Company's biggest box office successes have been written by the playwriting team of Jesse Jones, Nicholas Hope, and Jamie Wooten, and whereas the team of Jessica Jones, Nicholas Hope, and Jamie Wooten have become some of the most successful comedy playwrights in America, with over 3,000 productions and 21,000 performances in all 50 states and 12 foreign countries, and whereas the team of Jesse Jones, Nicholas Hope, and Jamie Wooten have commissioned the Paramount Acting Company to produce the world premiere of the 14th play, Last Roundup of the Guacamole Queens, at the Paramount Theater of Burlington. Now, therefore, I, Ronnie K. Wall, Mayor of Burlington, North Carolina, do hereby declare December 18th through the 21st, 2014, as Jones, Hope, and Wooten Days in the city of Burlington. Mr. Wright, congratulations, sir. We present this proclamation to you. Thank you, sir. And feel free to say a few words.
Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, I would like to take the opportunity on behalf of all of us at the Paramount Theater and our Paramount Acting Company for this proclamation. It's going to drive Jessie completely through the floor when we give this to her. They're actually coming down for the opening night for a gala premiere. I hope all you gentlemen have gotten your invitations for this. And I think this shows the wisdom of the council back in the day when they decided to renovate the Paramount. We've got a lot more to do, but this is kind of the culmination of all the theaters in the country, community theaters, college theaters, professional theaters. They ask us to premiere their 14th play. We are just honored beyond words. They came down and saw our Dixie Swim Club production, which was a fundraiser for the gallery players. And if I can just say one little thing about these people, they're much too nice to be in theater. When they found out we were doing a fundraiser for the gallery, they volunteered to give away programs, to sell tickets, to clean up. They're just that nice. They're the most successful playwrights in the country, yet they're extremely nice people. And it's going to reflect, I think, extremely well on our town. People coming from as far away as Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, and South Carolina all ready to see the show. So we would invite you folks to come out, and members of the general public, and we'll have more fun than we meant to on December 18th.
And let me add something, Mr. Wright. I was in Austin, Texas a couple weeks ago and ran into the mayor of Roxborough, and she was very, very complimentary of you and our theater as well. So congratulations.
Well, thank you, sir.
We appreciate that.
We're very lucky to have y'all's support, and we surely hope it continues. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Next item on the agenda is the Code of Ethics. This time we recognize City Clerk Renee Ward. Ms. Ward.
Members of Council, it is my responsibility to remind you of your duty to avoid conflicts of interest in matters that are before us. At this time, I ask if there are any potential conflicts concerning tonight's agenda items.
None. Next item is approval of the minutes, November 18th, 2014, City Council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Adoption of the agenda.
Adopt agenda as written. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose. Consent agenda. These items are typically non-controversial. If anyone has any questions about the following items, please let us know. Item 1A, to approve banking resolutions authorizing investment account with American National Bank and to authorize the city clerk to attest the resolutions, city manager, director of administrative services, and the finance director as signers on the account. B, to approve a final plat for Alamance County. The property is located at the southwest intersection of Stoke Streets and Turntine Street, as shown on plans by Boswell Surveys, Incorporated, dated October 2nd, 2014, and containing 3 lots. C, to approve a final plat for Clinton Wayne York Jr. The property is located south of Long Pine Road, as shown on plans by Gary R. Parrish, PLSS, dated October 14th, 2014, and containing 2 lots. D, to approve a final plat for Cummings Place Townhomes. The property is located south of Edgewood Avenue and north of Colonial Drive, shown on plans by Carolina Cornerstone Surveying, dated August 7th, 2014, containing 10 lots. E, Budget Amendment 2015-39, Recreation, PTCOG Senior Center, General Purpose, spelled out in your agenda. F, Budget Amendment 2015-40, PTCOG Grant, Area Agency on Aging, Title 3D Health, spelled out in your agenda. G, Budget Amendment 2015-41, Police Substance Abuse, spelled out in your agenda.
Mayor, make a motion that we approve the consent agendas as it stands.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose. Unfinished business 2, a public hearing has been continued to consider an application to rezone from R15 Residential District to CB Conditional Business District for the use of unified business development with use and development conditions as specified in the application. The property is located at the southeast intersection of University Drive and South Church Street, as shown on Alamance County Tax Map 3-27, Lot 6. A valid petition of protest has been received, continued from November 18, 2014, City Council meeting. This time we recognize Ms. Nelson. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you just said, this is a continuance from your last meeting. Just as a reminder, this had approval, recommendation approval from staff and from the Planning and Zoning Commission, and I believe that Lawson Brown is here to speak about this.
Mr. Brown, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Wall, members of the council. It's my pleasure to be back before you again tonight, and hopefully for the final time on this particular development. It's my pleasure to be representing Mr. Ed Tam, Bluewood Development. Mr. Tam is here. Also, Jamie Gerhardt and Sam Smith from Sheets are here. Additionally, Tim Jennings, a project engineer, and Cindy Lancaster, the water engineer, hydrology expert, is also here if you have questions that I cannot answer. I want to basically be as brief as possible to cover these particular matters. I want to point out the differences, highlight the differences, the major differences in the 2009 request we had that involved this property. As you will recall, at that time, it was about 18 acres, which included the property to the south of this particular tract, and that came before you back in May, and you rezoned a portion of it conditional business and a portion conditional O&I. What we have now is the remainder of that property, which we are asking for conditional business zoning on. We have specified a number of conditions, and I know that because this has been on your agenda multiple times, that you've had an opportunity to review those. Those restrictions are as restrictive as any conditions I've ever presented to you, and as restrictive as any I've seen on any business zone property. So that is both as to the use and as to the development conditions. So we had 18 acres before, now we have just the remaining 6 to 8 acres of this property. In 2009, there were 164 residential units on 3-story buildings that pretty much towered over the Glenwood Acres neighborhood, which is located to the east, an area of some 13 to 14 property owners that were vehemently opposed in 2009 to that residential multifamily being that close to them. As you will recall, in May, we came off of that. The developer did, and created an R15 buffer. And in fact, tonight, when we are before you, there is now a restrictive covenant between the Glenwood Acres neighbors and the portion of the property that you zoned in May, and also that will be, assuming this zoning goes through tonight, will also restrict this property. Those restrictions are as to residential uses on that buffering zone, but it also includes extensive plantings along the southeastern corner of Huffman Lane as you go into Glenwood Acres, substantially more than it was in 2009. So we had residential units in 3-story buildings. We have a height restriction now of some 28 to 30 feet that is in restrictive covenants. And there is substantial buffering by that private restrictive covenant. In 2009, there were 5 out parcels on University Drive that you zoned in May. Now there are only 4. There were 4 out parcels on Church Street in 2009. Now there are only 3. In 2009, the mixed-use development had the strong staff recommendation. That is the same today as Ms. Nelson has stated to you. At that time in 2009, we had the support of Lutheran Retirement Ministries, a non-resident, non-tax-paying entity that spoke in favor of this. They have filed a protest petition, and it's my understanding from Mr. Longus representing them that they are withdrawing that protest petition because we have come to a private agreement with them as well that mirrors or echoes what we did in 2009. So the support of Twin Lakes Lutheran Retirement Ministries is the same. There are a couple of things that have changed since that time in 2009. In 2009, the northwest corner of this intersection that's owned by Twin Lakes was not planned for to remain natural. It is now planned, as you will recall from about a year ago when we were before you, that that area is now a park area and will not have residences built on it. The area immediately on the northeast intersection of that portion of the Twin Lakes property, there's now a buffer zone there, and at one time Twin Lakes was considering residential units there, but what I'm told is that they will probably use that area for offices and medical, reserving the right, obviously, to put residential. But their support is the same tonight as it was then, and the changes are primarily on their property as it relates to how this will impact them. In 2009, the Glenwood Acres neighbors filed a protest petition, and as I stated, they were vehemently opposed to this. Some of those neighbors are here tonight, but Mr. Kalo spoke the last time we were here. He represents them, and we have entered into a private restrictive covenant agreement. They have approved all of the conditions, not only in what you did in May, but also what we have before you tonight. So that is a big difference from 2009. In 2009, the development had a proposed blue stream that related to the ponds and the waterway that traverses the property basically along parallel line, parallel to Church Street. Today, there is an approved plan for blue stream restoration that has been approved by the Army Corps of Engineers, and that is a very extensive finite requirements that the federal government will enforce that we did not have that at that time. So there are substantial differences between the 2009 plan and the 2014 plan. Now, that said, there are some reasons that you have applied in your legislative function zoning property in the past, and I want to just highlight those very briefly. Number one, it is consistent with the long-range plans of the city for a mixed-use development because when you consider the whole portion, the 18 acres total, it had a residential component, an office and institutional component, and a conditional business component. Number two, it is a logical extension of existing zoning located immediately across the street and contiguous to it based on the property that you rezoned in May and also based upon the Waterford commercial development. That is something that you have applied in the past. Third, the conditions on this are very, very restrictive. Now, we started on this in 2009, or came before you in 2009. We actually started in 2007. I had some question about what I was going to do after the 152-acre, 26-parcel assemblage at Alamance Crossing, but I've been working on this pretty much since that time. So thank you, Mr. Tam. The conditions, again, are very restrictive. One of the great things about this particular development, it addresses the North Carolina Department of Transportation and the planning staff's concerns about traffic. It provides for a stoplight or traffic signalization and pedestrian signalization at Wade Coble Drive and Church Street. That will mean that the Burlington Pediatrics entrance that is closest to that particular intersection will be closed. Burlington Pediatrics is happy that their clientele and their patients will now have an opportunity to come into Mr. Tam's development and go behind their building, and will have a stoplight to get out back onto Church Street, which is now, I think, at 30,000 cars a day, which is a substantial amount. So that is a vast improvement. There are also other improvements from the down Church Street going westward. There'll be a median so that persons coming out of Twin Lakes will not be able to turn across Church Street before the intersection with University Drive, and that was a concern of Twin Lakes that Ms. Fox articulated at the Planning Commission level. There are other traffic improvements along University Drive, but basically they are very, very positive. It saves the taxpayers of Burlington money. It also saves the state of North Carolina taxpayers money because it's being done at developer expense. Fifthly, this has the strong support of the staff. We have worked extensively with them over the last 7 years to get to the point that we are. In 2009, you did not have the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and in 2014, we're coming before you with the, I think, an 8-to-1 vote in favor of this particular development. The questions that came up in 2009 related to hydrology, which we have addressed, to lighting, which we have addressed, to noise, which we have addressed. All of those things were of big concern to the neighbors and to Twin Lakes, and we have addressed those with the conditions that we have put in there, and also with restrictions on the western loop or western quarter restrictions. Finally, this is the highest and best use of this property, and it will be of great benefit to the immediate area. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Certainly, I've got a team of folks here that can answer questions that I can't answer.
Questions for Mr. Brown?
I guess all the I's and T's have been, I's been dotted, T's been crossed, and this is the final. Go with it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Just for clarification, Mr. Brown, you made mention about the traffic signalization at Wade, Coble, and Church Street.
Yes.
And I think in my conversations with staff, this project is what makes that warranted according to DOT. Is that right, Ms. Nelson? So without the project, that it wouldn't be warranted, not possible to have it in place.
And there was some question in 2009, Mr. Butler, as to whether DOT, even with this development, would recommend it. We had agreed that we would do it, but we have been told by DOT that the warrants will be met by this development because of the increase in traffic on Church and University.
Any other questions for Mr. Brown?
One more, Mayor. You said there was going to be a media in there. What happens with that if they ever decide to widen Church Street from the shopping center down to University to make that 4 lanes?
All of the traffic improvements are contemplating that Church Street will be widened and that there will not be a redo of that median. It'll be placed, DOT and the staff have made sure that we don't go back and tear something out that we're going to put in.
Other questions? Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
Remind you, this is a public hearing. Anyone on this side that would like to speak? Anyone on this side that would like to speak?
Mayor, members of the council, my name is Frank Longest. I'm a lawyer here in Burlington. Our firm represents Twin Lakes, as Mr. Brown indicated to you a few moments ago. Our client, of course, had a great deal of concerns. I think Pam Fox has sent each member of the council a letter in the past expressing her concerns, and she made those vocal at the Planning and Zoning Commission. I'm pleased to say that we don't have to have a whole lot of senior citizens here tonight to show their worry and protest about this particular project. They can stay at home and make cookies for their parade that's coming up with the Parade of Lights. But I've been authorized on behalf of Twin Lakes to withdraw the protest petition. and to tell you as members of the council on behalf of Twin Lakes that the concerns that Twin Lakes had with regard to the lighting, the noise matter, the traffic signalization have been addressed by the developer and have been resolved as of this evening with signatures on the documents that Twin Lakes is pleased with.
Questions for Mr. Longest while he's up? Anyone else on this side that would like to speak?
Mayor, make a motion, we close public hearing.
Second.
Got a motion and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose?
Mayor, make a motion that based on the protest petition being withdrawn and the fact that, as the minutes reflect from our last meeting, that Joe Kalo representing the residents at Glenwood Acres supporting the project with staff recommendation and P&Z, that we approve the rezoning from R15 residential to conditional business district for University Drive South Church.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Read that statement.
Mayor, make a motion that we approve the statement of consistency, whereas the City Council finds that the above amendment is consistent with the City of Burlington's comprehensive land use plan, and that this action is reasonable and in the public interest, and that the amendment is compatible with existing land uses in the vicinity, and that it reflects the changing land use patterns in the area.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mr. Tam, thank you.
Yeah, right.
Next item under new business, item 3, City Council will consider a request from Duke Energy for a 10-foot wide easement along Lake Camac Drive for a distance of approximately 25 feet in order to serve a property at 4826 Union Ridge Road. At this time, we'd recognize City Engineer Lanny Rue. Welcome, Mr. Rue.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Mr. Mayor, before you is a sketch plan supplied by Duke Energy that depicts the location of the easement for approval tonight. This is entrance to Lake Camac here, Lake Camac Drive. The easement is shown as shaded. Duke Energy has a power pole line that goes down toward the marina, and this is the best location for Duke to be able to service this property at 4826 Union Ridge Road. The easement is across property owned by the city, therefore a perpetual easement would need to be would be required for Duke Energy to place this service line across city property. The Departments of Engineering, Water Resources, and Recreation have reviewed the request and have no objection to this easement.
Questions for Mr. Rue?
Make a motion that we approve the request.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item number 4, City Council consider approving a change order to the 2014 street resurfacing project with Riley Paving Incorporated in the amount of $849,904.16 to extend the contract time for 300 calendar days to complete the project. This funding will be made available by utilizing resurfacing funds in the 2014-15 Public Works budget. Again, Mr. Rue.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. At the February 18, 2014 meeting of the City Council approved the 2014 street resurfacing contract with Riley Paving in the amount of $849,904. Provisions of the contract allowed for an extension of up to 100% of the contract amount. And due to the contractor's quality of work on the first phase of the work and the pricing received, City staff recommends an extension through change order for this amount, which would then place the total contract not to exceed $1,699,808.32. This will provide an additional 7 miles of street resurfacing. The map depicts in red those segments of street being proposed with this change order. These streets were determined by evaluating through our current pavement condition rating survey that we have, and the lower rated streets were looked at initially, others added to that, and others in the neighborhoods of these streets with the lower ratings. Staff recommends this change order to Riley Paving in the amount of $849,904.16, again utilizing funds from the 2014-15 Public Works budget.
Any questions, comments to Mr. Rue?
And let's take care of some of the city streets that were still dirt, that are still dirt.
We do not have in the resurfacing program monies available for converting soil or dirt streets to paved or ribbon pavement streets. Yeah. Currently, the city doesn't have a program for modifying those streets.
So we have some down, right here, almost in the heart of town. That.
We do maintain those streets,
yeah.
Keep them at the current conditions on a regular cycle.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the change order request recommended by City Engineer, Mr. Rue.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item number 5, City Council consider approving an agreement between CBL and Associates Management Incorporated and Alamance Crossing 2 LLC and the City of Burlington for a dedication of public sanitary sewer easement and abandonment of a portion of an existing public water line easement in conjunction with the development of out parcel number 11 in Alamance Crossing. This time recognize Mr. Rue.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Out parcel 11 sits at the corner of Boone Station Drive and the entrance into the Phase 2 Alamance Crossing development. Phase 2 is known where Dick's and Kohl's and BJ's all have retail space. This request is due to the development of this lot. The location of the building proposed is proposed to sit across a private sanitary sewer easement servicing this lot 11 and the adjacent lot. The city currently has a public water easement. Water easement shown at this location on the lot. That easement is being proposed to be abandoned. We have found other ways to be able to serve this lot. The lot itself has a proposed retaining wall around the perimeter, and so that would be in conflict. Due to the fact that this lot now is served across public right-of-way, provides a need that this easement for sanitary sewer would have to be a public easement. So the proposal is to provide sewer service to both lots from Boone Station into lot 11 and the adjacent lot through a public sewer access at that location and abandoning the private easement. The design of the water and sewer services to these sites have been reviewed by city staff, and staff recommends this action as a result.
Questions for Mr. Rue? Comments?
Yeah, move we approve the agreement with CBL.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Mr. Rue.
Thank you.
Brings us to public comment period. We have one. I'd like to recognize Maureen Richmond. Her topic is Parks and Recreation. Ms. Richmond, welcome. If you'd give us your name and address.
Maureen Richmond, 323 Hillcrest Avenue, Burlington, 27215.
Thank you.
Mayor Wall, City Council members, and City Manager Owen. Hello, thank you for the time to speak tonight. I'd really like to thank you all for everything that you do to make our city so nice and so livable. I appreciate it. I've only been here about 2 years, but I have a lot of experience in the past with which to contrast it. And I know that we have good living here. We have wonderful quality of life. Particularly, I'd like to thank you for our recreational opportunities, of which we have so many, both in the city limits and outside, but particularly I'd like to focus on parks and trails. My experience in this area is pretty substantial and diverse. Over the course of my life, I've been privileged to camp and hike and view in the Olympic National Forest, which is, as you know, in the Pacific Northwest. Up and down the Oregon coast, I've seen Yellowstone, the Grand Teton National Park, the Snake River Wilderness, where I've also camped, the Uinta National Forest in Utah, the Ozark National Forest, the Ouachita National Forest, both the last two in the state of Arkansas, and camped throughout Missouri and parts of Tennessee. In my day, I've been involved with the various environmental protection organizations, including the Sierra Club, Friends of the Earth, National Wildlife Federation, Defenders of Wildlife, the Audubon Society, and particularly the Nature Conservancy. At one point in time, I was staff support volunteer with a program administered by the Arkansas Department of Natural and Cultural Heritage and the Nature Conservancy together, working to inventory wild and natural areas in northern Arkansas for rare plant species. So I've seen a lot of really beautiful places, and that's my perspective and my background from which I can say we have some wonderful and beautiful places here too that certainly compare favorably. And in that context, I would like to thank Howard Tash, who is now just departing a post that he held for about 2 years with the Department of Recreation and Parks here in Burlington. And I'd like to thank Howard Tash specifically because I know what he has done for those of us who enjoy being out in the outdoors. His job position was trail specialist, environmental educator, and trail keeper. Under the division of trail specialist, I know that he spent a lot of time working on opportunities for seniors to hike and get out in nature and enjoy themselves. I particularly thank him for that. I happen to fall in that category. I never did have a chance to take advantage of his offerings, but I would have, and I really enjoy and would appreciate doing that and support the city in offering that and continuing to offer that. As an environmental educator, I saw Mr. Tash, myself once, out in the Glencoe paddle access area, doing some very appropriate environmental education with youngsters, appropriately and gently and diplomatically explaining to them why it is important not to take turtles out of that park. And, you know, he was just right there on the spot doing his job. And as trail keeper, I know I've benefited from his excellent vigilance over our trails because I spent a lot of time on the Glencoe Paddle Access Trail, and I've seen the signs that Howard was there over the weekend or in the most recent weather event, whatever that may have been. He always took care to mark any kind of obstacles on the trail with orange paint or do something to keep people from falling off the side, slipping down a slope, or tripping on a route. He was always looking after our safety. And I know, me personally, he made it possible when I first started exploring the trail system here in Burlington and in Alamance County by supplying me with all the maps that I needed to get oriented to the major systems, the trail systems and the connections, and also volunteered to personally accompany me so that I could get the safest access into areas that would be right for me. So I just want to say thank you to Howard Tash for his service to our area that he rendered from July 2012 to October 2014. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Richmond. Brings us to City Council comments.
Mayor, I would like to make one comment. Obviously, with the approval of this economic development project this evening, economic development is definitely how we drive the engine. That's what keeps our taxes low and affords us the ability to provide services. And I know there were attorneys for both sides. There were landowners, property owners, Twin Lakes, and the Glenwood Acres folks on both sides that worked this out. But I think it is, it needs to be stated that this project would not have happened without city staff and the amount of effort that was put forth over the last several years with regards to this project and with the work that P&Z did. This project has been one that has been very complicated with lots of areas of contention that have been worked out and resolved, and staff leadership, P&Z's leadership, that made the decision for this council easy, and I'd like to thank them personally for the efforts that they put forth on this.
Thank you, Councilmember Butler. Any other comments? Just a few here. Holiday Magic, A Dickens Christmas, December 12th, 6 to 9 downtown. Our next city council meeting is December 16th at 7 p.m. Any other comments from council? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Yeah. Hey, no, bring it back forward. Thank you for taking care of that. And I talked. The other thing is, the dip's back in the road again. We'll have to have